You think I should set it over here? Like right here? So the camera will see me better? No?
Okay. All right. So yoga begins with the breath, and often in my classes I like to say, if you just sit here in your meditating pose, or if you lay in your Shavasana pose, which is the final resting corpse pose, and you're breathing deeply, you're doing great and you're doing yoga, and that's awesome, and that's all that's expected of you. So breathing in yoga is very, very important. Now I'm predominantly a flow teacher, so Vinyasa flow is linking one pose to another. I really just love that like fluid movement. It feels really good in my body. I do hold some poses for longer, but generally I like a little more of a cardio aspect of my practice, not to displace gentle yoga or restorative yoga or yin yoga. They're really a perfect marriage. I think you really need both. But no matter what, breathing. And I think the reason you feel so amazing after a yoga class, they call it yoga drunk, like you're just a little bit like, woo, that is because of all the deep, amazing breaths that you're taking. So we're gonna talk about 3 specific ones here. One is the Ujjayi breath, and that is gonna be in every single flow class that you ever take. And this is breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. So everybody right now, just breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Okay, it was probably a little bit shallow, yeah? Again, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose. Now I want you to pretend like you have a straw and suck in through the straw. See how that opened your throat a little bit more? So now try to breathe in through your nose and also, but with your mouth closed with that same straw suction feeling. So see how it's more in the back of your throat and it goes deep down into your low belly? That's what we're looking for. Okay, let it all go. Nice. Okay, now for the exhale on that Ujjayi breath, it's gonna feel like when you take, like you're in the bathroom and you fog up a mirror. So I want you to go, you almost have a Darth Vader sound, yeah? Okay, now inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth with that Darth Vader breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale with that Darth Vader. Now try that with your mouth shut. Inhale through your nose like you're sucking through a straw. Exhale out your nose like you're exhaling and steaming up your mirror. Do you hear that? So it literally almost sounds like Darth Vader. It sounds like a generator or something. Hi, Gina. Hi, Jenny. Jeannie. Gina and Jenny. Gina and Jeannie. So we're just talking about breathing. We just got started. You haven't missed much. Okay, so that's Ujjayi breath. So that's in through your nose and out through your nose. When I'm teaching in class, I often want everybody to do that, but I would breathe out of my mouth because I'm talking at the same time. So if you're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose in class and you almost feel like you can't catch your breath, go ahead and take an inhale and let it out. Okay, which brings me to our next kind of breath, which is one of my personal favorites, the cleansing breath. So this one is inhale through your nose, fill up, part your lips, sigh everything out. Doesn't that just feel good right there? So let's do it again. Inhale through your nose. Part your lips, let everything go. Now this one is super calming for the central nervous system. When you're like super panicky or stressed out or like life just isn't going your way, what is the first thing someone tells you? Take a deep breath, right? So this one's very amazing for your central nervous system. It's really good to just kind of bring you back to center. It's also amazing when we're in the middle of a flow and we're getting, into it and people hold their breath. It's like, okay, let's pause and take a cleansing breath right here. Okay, so let's all do that together one more time. Big inhale through your nose. Part your lips, let everything go. Now we're gonna add a little bit of arms to this one. This is how I start almost every single one of my practices because I feel like it really just helps you drop in. So we're gonna inhale through our noses, the arms fan up overhead, fill up. Oh, that looks so pretty with all of us. And then exhale out of your mouth as the hands come heart center. Beautiful, 2 more. Big inhale, fan it up, fill it up. And exhale, let it go. Biggest one yet. Fan it up, fill it up, be grateful. And exhale, let go. And just right there, check in. Feel just that little bit of shift in your mood. And right now we're all ready for meditation, right? Okay, so that's one of my most favorite breaths. I probably take about 100 of those throughout my day. The final breath we're going to talk about is called the breath of fire. I love this one for my detox flow class. It's also just really good to burn if you're like feeling like you have, in yoga we call it tapas. It's like if you feel like you have a lot of fire in you that you need to kind of burn off, you're upset, you're angry, you're stressed, taking this breath of fire will kind of burn that energy off and let you come back to homeostasis and get back to normal. So this one, and everybody put your hands on your tummy. And it's like it's almost like you're getting socked in the gut. It almost can even sound like you're hyperventilating. So it's really amazing. It's actually core work. So if you don't want to do like a bunch of sit-ups, you could totally do this and get the same event. It also, or the same effect, excuse me. It also builds a lot of fire in the system. So it's a wonderful way to warm up. So I love that, like in my detox flow, I do a lot of core work. We do a lot of twisting and a lot of compression. So the breath of fire is a great way to get a class like that started. So you really are burning that internal fire, really great calorie burner, that sort of thing. So let's bring our hands to it's also a big Kundalini thing, which I'm not a big Kundalini person, but if this takes you that route, you'll see a lot of this kind of breath in Kundalini yoga. It's a little too woo-woo even for me, that stuff. Anyway, sit up nice and tall, chest is lifted, and bring your hands to your tummy and inhale through your nose. Let everything out. And then in and out of your nose. Keep going. See how you're already feeling like you're getting a little bit of a core workout? Oh yeah, let's take 10 more. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, that just created like a bunch of kind of energy within you. That's a really good one to do in the morning. Okay, so those are like the 3 breaths that at least I most commonly use. It's what I really mostly see in other people's classes as well. So just to recap, the Ujjayi breath is in through your nose, out through your nose, and predominantly in a flow class. The cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and usually done 1 at a time, 3 at a time, no more really than that. And then the breath of fire is that, internal building, it's really coming from your tummy versus your lungs. Do we have any questions about breath yet? Don't be shy, this is your time. All right, everybody's great.
Is it hailing? Sorry.
Is it what?
It's hailing outside.
Yeah, oh, okay, you heard that too. Oh yeah, you guys in Bakersfield too. I was like, oh my God.
What just happened? Sorry.
Okay, we're gonna get started with our poses. Who's excited?
You look like me when I was younger right now.
What?
Right this minute, you look like me when I was younger.
Oh, well, good. I hope I look like you when I'm older too. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So asana, I'm not gonna go a lot into Sanskrit here because I just don't teach a lot of Sanskrit. I feel like it kind of turns off a lot of people, especially for new people to yoga. But Sanskrit, every pose is asana. That's how you say pose in Sanskrit. So every pose, like you'll hear Tadasana, which is mountain pose. So Tada is mountain, asana is pose. So anything in yoga has an asana at the end, and that's what that means. It means pose. So we're going to start in the absolute most basic pose in yoga. So everybody stand up. We're doing mountain pose, but we're going to make it really active. Okay. So we're standing tall and just kind of sink. Like, what do you do when you just stand? I kind of sink into my right hip and just kind of like let it all hang out. My gut kind of goes. So we're going to stand really, really tall. What we want our knees stacked above our ankles, our hips above our knees, our shoulders above our hips, okay? So take a moment to really stack yourself properly. Now, lift the tops of your kneecaps. So my quads right now are completely engaged. My butt is tucked underneath and my low belly is squeezing. Okay, so right here, I'm super active through my low belly. So even though we're just standing here, we can make this really active. Now the arms go down by your sides like your fingertips are dripping down towards your mat. And then engage your biceps and your triceps. Okay, now take a minute and let's scrunch up our shoulders up towards our ears. Okay, this is not what we want. Our ears and our shoulders are not friends. So roll the shoulders down and back. Okay, and then our chin is parallel to the mat. Chest is lifted. Core is engaged. Thighs are squeezing. So see how this is like so much more than just standing. You can really make this active. You could actually almost get tired just kind of squeezing everything right here. So this is your basic foundational pose. Everything you want, I had a teacher once always say, find your Tadasana. So even if we're like in a triangle pose, say, I'm trying to stack my body just right, just so you want to start with your foundation up and work your way up, even if your hips are open or something like that. Find your Tadasana, meaning just start with the foundation and work your way up, making sure everything is properly aligned. Okay, so pretty basic, but that's your Tadasana. See, isn't yoga easy? Any questions about that one? Looking good. Okay, and again, look through the benefits and stuff later. Okay, so the next one is Prasarita A and C, which is really just wide-legged forward fold. So take your stance out really, really wide. And there's two different kinds. So we'll take A first. So from here, find your Tadasana, yeah? So I want you to lift the tops of your kneecap. So my thighs are engaged. Lift the chest, big inhale here. Exhale out your mouth and forward fold. Now Prasarita A, the first one, we're gonna have our hands on the floor. So our hands are on the floor, but they're not just on the floor anywhere. We're gonna bring them back so they're in line with your toes. So there's a nice bend in your elbows. Now, if you need to bend your knees here a little bit, you can. Now, I want the crown of your head to hang forward, reaching towards the mat. So there's absolutely no tension in your neck. Nod your head yes and nod your head no. Breathe right here. Now, in a forward fold, we really start to get lazy in the low belly. So I want you to scoop your low belly in. And then you can almost bring your head closer to the mat just by doing that. So my elbows are bent, and then I want you to hug your elbows in towards each other. Let me see everybody. Looking good. Well, I see everybody's heads now. Looking good. Okay, now to come out of this, I want you to inhale and come halfway up. Shine your heart towards me. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And then inhale all the way to standing. Okay, how did that feel? Everybody okay with that one? Yeah. Okay, the next version of this is Prasarita C, wide-legged forward fold C. And that one, we're gonna interlace our hands behind us. Again, don't lose your foundation. So lift through the tops of the kneecaps, meaning engage your quads. My core is engaged. I'm gonna lift my chest as I pull my knuckles towards the floor behind me. Big inhale here. And then exhale, forward fold. Again, my head hangs totally heavy, no tension in my neck. Nod it yes and no to make sure. You wanna think of it as like a bowling ball, just hanging from your neck. And then pull those knuckles so they're reaching up and over your head. Ah, feel that through the chest and the shoulders and everything. Yeah, baby. Okay, release your hands back down to the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way to standing. Really nice. Now, did anybody have a little bit of an issue in their shoulders at all? A little bit tight? I'm just gonna give you the option just in case. If you're feeling just too tight and you're ever trying to interlace your hands behind you and it's just not working, just grab a strap or a tie or a dog leash or something like that. And then look, and you can even get like way further that way. So if you're feeling just a little bit tight in the shoulders, grab a strap and do it with a strap. Yeah, good. Any questions on that one? What was that one called? Wide-legged forward fold. There's going to be a quiz later. What was the very first pose?
Come out in front of me.
What? What was the very first pose called?
Mountain pose.
Mountain pose, yeah! Okay, so mountain pose and wide-legged forward bend or forward fold. You're gonna see that in almost every one of my classes, at least, that I do. Okay, the next one is pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. If anybody has blocks, you might wanna grab some blocks. My blocks are actually making it so you can see my entire body on the screen. So grab, what was that?
What are we doing? A pyramid?
Pyramid pose, yeah. Don't be scared.
I don't see it.
My papers that I printed, they must have been in the office.
Okay, so if you have 2 blocks, great. If you don't, also great. And we're going to stand to face the front of your mat. And then I want you to take your right foot forward and your left foot about halfway back down your mat. Okay, so just check in with your wobbly level. If it's super wobbly, walk that right foot out slightly. So you want to be on railroad tracks. You don't ever want to be on a tightrope, okay? Because as we forward fold into this, it's going to get a little more wobbly. Okay, everybody feeling good just in this position right here? Nice, thanks for the thumbs. I like the thumbs up. Good, thumbs up are good. Okay, we've got some options with the arms in this pose, even if your teacher in class doesn't give them. You can take your opposite elbows behind your back. This is going to be probably the most gentle. You can do just like we did in our forward fold, interlace them behind you. Or if you want to be really crazy and really get a stretch through your shoulders, you can take a reverse namaste. For the purpose of today, let's just grab our opposite elbows. And inhale really tall right here, grow through the crown of your head. Again, start with your foundation. So lift the tops of your kneecaps. Your legs are super straight and super engaged right here. And then hinging from your hip, forward fold just halfway. Okay, already I want to let my lower belly go right here. So scoop the low belly in. And just take one more breath right here. Nice. Now we're going to take our hands down to the mat, or this is where 2 blocks come into handy. So either taking your hands onto blocks or onto the mat to frame your front foot. So I have a hand on each side of my foot. Okay, now the first thing that happens in my body is my right butt wants to go over to the right side of my mat. I want you to keep that right booty tucked into your midline. Okay, and then forward fold, letting the crown of the head hang down towards the mat, or more like getting your forehead towards your shin. How are we feeling?
Hi.
Good, good. All right, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way to standing. Woo! Give that a little pound out, a little love. Okay, that feel good?
Whitney, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So if you're gonna bend one of those legs, which one would you bend? The one in the front or the back?
The front.
Okay.
Why do you want to bend it though?
I'm not stretching good.
Oh, okay, so that's when you would want 2 blocks. So
Okay.
let me just see if I can do the one block. So I can only show you with 1 block and keep that height. Okay, so what you would do is just have your block in its highest position and
Okay.
come down right here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because if you come into this, we're talking about a totally different pose, yeah?
Yep.
So what we want is both legs straight. Even if we don't go down as low,
Okay.
we just come up higher. We can also bring our hand to our thigh.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's all try it on the other side. So now, left foot forward, right foot about halfway back. Now my hips are square towards the front of my mat, and my back foot is like at a 45-degree angle. Okay, if you liked what you did with your arms on the other side, take it on this side, or maybe switch it up. Again, this would be another time where you could grab a strap behind you, and it feels a little bit better. Let's take a big inhale here, and then exhale, forward fold halfway. Now, check in. Is your left glute popping out to the left, or is it in your midline? Keep it in the midline. Did you let your low belly go? Scoop your low belly in. Take a big inhale here, and then exhale, forward fold all the way down. Maybe bring your hands to blocks, or even your thigh. Breathe. Beautiful. Look at you, pretty yogis. All right, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way to standing. Whee! All right, feel a little stretched out right there? Yeah? Great. Okay, any questions on that? I liked Trinity's question. Thank you for that. So yeah, if you had to bend, I would have like a micro bend in my front leg, but ideally in a pyramid pose, we want both legs really straight. It's really similar to triangle, which we're not going to do today. But triangles with open hips, and that's with a closed hip. And again,
Help with balance, because I keep seeming to want to tip over.
yeah, so say that again.
I keep wanting to tip over.
Yeah, so that's when you want to be on a railroad track or even wider. So if you're feeling super tippy, walk that front foot over to the left side of your mat and your back foot more to the right side of your mat. I don't know if you, so what do you have for, you have your right foot forward right now?
Forward?
So your right foot's forward. So walk your right foot to the right slightly.
Okay.
And then walk your left to the left. Does that feel a little more stable?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just want to widen your stance a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also blocks help. Because then when you get over here, you kind of have the floor comes up to you a little bit more. Woo! All right. Good questions. Please ask away if you have one. Okay, who's ready to balance?
Who's ready to win?
This might be where you want to be close to a wall or a chair or something like that. But this is eagle pose. I don't know why I'm so mean. I showed you eagle pose on the first day, but I did it. So here we are. Let's get our arms into it first. I want you to open your arms out wide. So this is actually an amazing pose for the back of your shoulders. It's also really amazing for all of our reproductive organs and digestive system. Okay, so we're reaching. Now I want your right arm to go underneath your left. And now we're gonna have some options. So either just bringing the back of the hands together, maybe bringing the palms together, or if this is just not working for you at all, you just give yourself a big hug. Okay, so commit to one right here. Now, unless you're hugging yourself, I want you to bring your elbows off your chest and bring your forearms away from your face. See how that just activated that stretch in between your shoulder blades? Oh yeah, it feels so nice. And then we're gonna take our right leg, and this is where we have a couple more options. Ideally, we wanna wrap it all the way around. Ooh, carpet is not ever fun to do yoga on. And then we're trying to get it behind the calf. Now, if that's not working today, here you have a trusty block, and you just take your toe right on that block. You could also use a stack of books. You could also lean your back up against a wall and sit into this wall. You can also pretend like this is a chair, but that's way low. Let's see. And this is not working at all. And just put your butt on the end of the chair. Okay, take one more breath. Breathe. Woo! Nice. And stand it up, release it. So that one's super twisty and exciting. So if I was gonna do that on the chair, which I tried to do on the block, which did not work at all, I would just sit on the edge of it, wrap this foot, just like kind of how we sit at dinner anyway, right? And then take it in the arms. So if you're really,
would the left leg bend at all in the knee or straight up?
yeah, so it's almost like chair pose. So I'll show you this angle. And actually, thanks, good, really good question. And if you guys ever want me to move angles, just tell me. So actually, I'm almost, yeah, I'm like way in chair pose. And the more you bend that standing leg, the easier it is to wrap. Okay.
You froze up there for a second. Can you say that again?
Yeah, so the more, no, that's fine. The more you bend your standing leg, the easier it is for the other leg to wrap. So if I'm up here trying to get this around, when I bend, see how that automatically took my foot behind my calf for me. Yep. Over here was kind of hanging. So when I bend into it, it's better. Let's try it on the other side. Any other questions? This is a hard one. I know I threw a hard one in here on day one. It's good for you. How else are we gonna grow as yogis, right? Do we need to do a little yoga dance party in between? Maybe after this pose. Okay, now the left arm is gonna go underneath the right. So whatever arm goes under, the leg goes over. And then wrap that left leg up and around. So yeah, so I'm bending my right knee, and maybe I'm kickstanding that left toe. Okay, you guys look really good. I feel like I'm wobbling more than you. Beautiful. Let's sit a little bit lower. Woo, I lost my leg. And straighten it up and shake it out. Woo-hoo! That was a good one. Okay, any other questions on that one? All right, so eagle pose. And, okay, yay, plank pose. I love planks. So, come down onto your mats. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you've all done it, but we just want to talk about it for a second. So, plank pose. And of course, there are modifications. So I want you to come into your plank pose. And I have this tendency, so a lot of people want to do like a down dog here. We want to keep our butts out of the air. So me, sometimes when I'm doing that, I kind of overcorrect and sink my hips low. We want a nice straight line from the crown of our head all the way through our heels. So I also have a tendency to kind of come forward on my toes, which puts a lot of extra pressure on my wrists. So I want to press through my heels and I have this nice long line from the crown of my head down through my heels. Now engage your low belly. This is a really easy pose to lose your core. And this pose is all about the core. It's actually a full body exercise, so we want to do this one correctly. Good, you guys look really good. Oh, we don't even need modifications. Look how strong you are. But if you need a modification, you can drop to your knees. But this is not on all fours, okay? It's on our knees, but our hips are still pressed forward, so we're still working the arms. Yeah? Let's hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job, you guys. Drop to your knees, take a little child's pose. So bring your big toes together, knees far apart, sink the hips to the heel, rest the forehead, and breathe. And child's pose is a pose that is always available to you if you're ever taking a class and you just need a break, or you're doing one of my videos and you just need a break. Take a child's pose and breathe. You're doing yoga perfectly. Okay, coming in straight into the next pose is side plank. And again, don't worry. Anybody have any wrist issues or anything? I forgot to ask about. Okay, so I'm going to give you some modifications for that too. I forgot to ask about injuries before class. I apologize. Okay, so let's come back into our plank. And then I'm going to go into my left hand first, but if you want to go onto whatever hand makes you face the video, that's fine. So I'm on my left hand, and I'm going to roll to the outside edges of my feet. So I have my feet unstacked right now. I'm going to give you a couple options. You can have your feet unstacked, you can have them stacked, or you can drop this bottom knee. Okay, but we want to keep this nice long straight line. Okay. If you have any wrist issues, this is quite a bit on your wrist and your shoulder, you can come down onto this forearm and try that. See how you're just working just as hard, if not more. Beautiful. All right, and then come back to plank or forearm plank. Forearm plank would be another option for plank if you have any wrist issues, and then come into it on the other side. So now I'm on my right forearm, or you can be on your right hand. And then play around. What feels good? Do you want to unstack your feet or stack your feet? Maybe lift that top arm, reaching high to the sky. Nice. Come back to plank. Okay, maybe we're going to get a tiny workout in here. And come back into child's pose. Ah. And then one little exercise I like to do. So come back into plank. We're just going to go from side to side, nice and slow. So left hand stays on the mat. Come to the outside edge of your left foot, inside of your right foot, and lift the right arm up to the sky. And then come back down through plank. Slow and controlled. Keep your core engaged and take it to the other side. Whee! You can also do this on your forearms if you have any wrist issues. Come back to plank. Let's take that 2 more times on each side. Whee! And other side. So if you were on your forearms, you'd be looking a little bit like this. Ah, full body exercise right here. You're welcome. And last time. Nice. And take a child's pose. And a breather. Good work, everybody. All right, how did that feel in everybody's body? Still with me, still good? That one's a little hard, right? That one's definitely some work. Okay, now we're gonna come into our baby cobras, updog, down dogs. We're almost there. We're already on pose 7, so just like 4 more. Okay, come onto your bellies. And then I don't think I had Sphinx pose in here, but I really should have added Sphinx pose to this little section. So I want your forearms out in front of you and your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. My palms are facing down and my legs are completely on the ground. Now, energetically, pull your hands towards your body. So it just kind of activates your upper body, okay? So I'm not just like letting my arms lay here. I'm energetically pulling my palms towards myself, okay? So this is Sphinx pose. I don't teach a lot of Sphinx pose, but you will see it. And then the difference between this and baby cobra, lay back down, bring your chest down, and then bring your hands in line with, like if you had a bra strap on, or in line with your chest. Now press so much into the tops of your feet that your knees lift off slightly off the mat. And then hug your elbows in towards your body and peel just your chest off of the mat. Okay, this is baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Let's take this a couple of times, working the back. Inhale, peel it up, baby cobra. Exhale, back down. Inhale, peel up, baby cobra. Now we're gonna pause here. And this is really supposed to be about your back. So I want you to lift your hands up off of your mat. Woo! Did you stay right where you were? Nice, and then lower back down. So that's baby cobra. And next we're gonna do upward facing dog, but if upward facing dog doesn't feel good in your body, the modification for that will always be baby cobra, okay? So from here, your hands are in the exact same position for up dog. They're in line with your chest. You hug your elbows in towards your body, and this time we press into the mat. So just the bottoms of my hands and the tops of my feet are on the mat. My whole legs are lifted, my chest is lifted, and my chin is parallel to the mat. Breathe here. Nice. Does that feel okay in everybody's body? Exhale, lower back down. And then there's one in between of that, which is the full cobra, which I don't personally love, but it feels good in other people's bodies. So let's just explore it and see how it feels in yours. And that is basically baby cobra and up dog. So my whole lower body is still on the mat, but my arms are straight. So I feel like that's just too much for my low back personally. Let's see how that feels in your body. Okay, lower back down. Nice. Let's take a little child's pose. Lift the hips up and back towards your heels. Child's pose, breathe. Nice. Okay, let's come back to plank pose. Next pose is downward facing dog. So from your plank pose, this should be the perfect distance from your hands and from your feet. Okay, in a down dog, we're working our strength and our flexibility. So lift your hips up and back, and you're gonna either wanna walk your feet towards each other or away from each other. But if we go straight from plank, it pretty much is 100% sure that we're working both our strength and flexibility in the pose. So let's just take this a couple times. I want you to inhale to plank pose. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take that 2 more times. Inhale into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then I'm gonna throw in that cleansing breath that we learned in the beginning. Inhale through your nose. Part your lips and sigh it out. Nice. Now let's drop to our knees and sink your hips to your heels. Child's pose, rest your forehead, take a little breather. This isn't
Brittany,
Yeah,
can I ask a question?
yes, please.
When you're in that pose, do you want to like push your heels to the ground or lift them up off the ground?
Yeah, cool. So if you can get them to the ground, yes, you want to, but 90% of us cannot. So let's come back to the down dog. So come back into your down dog. And then let's go from head to toe. So go really high onto your tippy toes, inhale. And then exhale, press your heels back down to the mat. So we're trying to get them as much down as possible. But like I said, it doesn't happen very often. Inhale really high up onto your tippy toes. And then exhale, press them back down. Now check in with your hands. We want our palms flat on the mat, our fingertips pointing towards the front of our mat. And I want you to separate your fingers as if you have like little pizza slices in between your hands. Okay. Then you press your chest towards your thighs. And then again, with that head hanging heavy, no tension in your neck. Breathe here. So yeah, so my hips are reaching towards the sky and my heels are reaching back down to the earth. Towards is the key word. And then drop back down to your knees and take a little child's pose. And we've learned all the poses for our vinyasa, so we're just gonna break that down really quick. Now come back to all fours. And we're gonna do, from plank, we're gonna do something called a chaturanga. Makes ya holla. Okay, I'm gonna give you, so chaturanga is a low push-up, okay? With our elbows like in a 90-degree angle, and it really sucks for a lot of people. And then we come from there into an up dog and into a down dog. But I'm gonna give you some modifications. So start in your plank, and let's say that chaturanga just didn't work for you. So I want you to drop to your knees, but keep your hips pressed forward. And then chaturanga all the way to your belly. Okay, now point the toes back behind you. Hug your elbows in towards your body. And inhale into that baby cobra. Beautiful. Lower all the way back down to the mat. Come onto all fours. Tuck your toes. And lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Okay, so that is a perfect way to do a vinyasa. Let's take it up one notch, just so you can see the difference. Rock forward to plank. This time, stay on your toes. Give me a low push-up. Keep your elbows in towards the body. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so that first one, most people need to start with in order to build the strength. I so often see people going into chaturanga and they do this, or it's like drop to the belly and the rest. So you're not going to ever be building your strength in your arms. So I'd so much rather see you drop to your knees and work on the strength this way. Okay, so let's try the modified version one more time. Come into plank. Drop to your knees, but keep your hips pressed forward. Chaturanga all the way to the belly. Point the toes back behind you, press into the tops of your feet, and peel up baby cobra. Lower back down to the mat. Come onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, so that's a way you can start building strength when you're working up towards a full-on vinyasa. Do you guys have questions about that? This is a really confusing little sequence that you're going to see in so many classes. Everybody's good? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Okay, we got one more pose and then we're going to play a little game. Everybody up. Get low from the window to the wall till the sweat drip down. We won't go that far. Okay. So feet about hip width apart. We're coming into chair pose. I want your arms high. So my biceps are by my ears. My arms are super straight and super strong. And you can't see, but I have like spirit fingers or jazz hands going on. Okay. Take a big inhale here and exhale. Sink that booty back. Okay, now I want your weight in your heels. You should be able to see and wiggle your toes. I want your low belly engaged, and I want you to reach for the stars. Now, again, a huge tendency is to bring the shoulders into the ears. Remember, they're not friends, so bring the shoulders down the back. Who wants to straighten their legs? Let's say 3 more breaths right here. Inhale.
I do. I do.
That's it, so she's out. She's good. One more inhale. And then exhale, just take a forward fold from here. Ah. Nice. And then bring your hands to your shins. Shine your heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Hands connect above the head. Big inhale, fill it up, fan it up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. And we're just going to take that into one vinyasa before we finish class. So front of your mat.
Whitney, really fast on the chair.
Yeah.
It's not a normal wide squat, right?
No. So not unless you're pregnant. So
Okay.
if you were pregnant, then yeah, you would take it really wide. But this is about hip width apart.
Okay.
So I have not even enough space for 2 fists in between my hands.
Okay.
It's
I
pretty,
want to keep long because that's what I'm used to, but
pretty narrow. Yeah,
Okay.
like this would get into like goddess pose.
yeah, okay.
Woo!
Checking.
Okay. Yeah, no, really good question. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna run through a quick vinyasa. Let's just get a little movement in our bodies. And we're gonna take it twice, actually. I'm gonna take you on the modified version first, and then I'll lead you through the full expression of it, but you know your body by now if you should be doing the modified one. Again, please do that, yeah? Okay, deal? Deal. Okay, I'll pretend like you just all scream deal. Okay, inhale, arms rise, fan it up, fill it up. Exhale, forward fold. Now bring your hands to your shins and shine your heart forward. And then bring your hands to your mat and step back into your plank. Drop to your knees, but keep your hips pressed forward and lower all the way to your belly. Keep your elbows hugged into your body. Point your toes back behind you. Press so much into the tops of your feet that your knees lift and peel your chest off the mat. Exhale, lower back down. Come onto all fours. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And let's take 3 breaths here. Pressing into your palms and out through your fingertips. Chest presses towards the thighs. Hips reach towards the sky, heels reach towards the earth. One more big inhale here. Part your mouth, open mouth, sigh it out. Nice. And now let's step our feet up to meet our hands. Bring your hands to your shins and shine your heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing, hands connect above the head, fill it up. And exhale, hands come heart center. We're gonna take that one more time. If you should be doing it just like that, do it just like that, but I'm gonna lead you through the one with the up dog. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Use your breath. Bring your hands to your shins and shine your heart forward. Hands down to the mat, step it back to plank. Now knees or toes, drop to your knees if you need to, otherwise chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, or maybe baby cobra. Exhale, drop back down if you're in baby cobra, or lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more cleansing breath right here. Inhale through your nose. Part your lips and let it go. And let's take our feet wider than our mat. And then walk your hands back towards the center of your feet. So right back into our very first pose. Crown of the head hangs heavy, no tension in your neck. Breathe. Bring your fingertips so they're in line with your toes. Hug your elbows towards each other. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, all the way to standing. Heel toe your feet together, you can do a little hop in. And how are we feeling? Any questions? What's going on?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Jeannie.
Hi.
I don't know if other people experience this, but in a lot of the poses, you know, where you have your toes pointed and you're flat on the floor with your toes, I get cramps in my feet. Does that happen to anyone else?
Totally.
Me. Yes.
Which pose are you talking about specifically?
Well, you know, when we were down like this,
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get cramps. Or even when we haven't done it today, but other poses where you have to have, just where your feet are flat, you point your toes and your feet are flat on the floor.
Yeah, it's just a circulation thing. It happens a lot. I get, like, my whole right leg goes numb in pigeon all the time. Sometimes my left foot goes numb. What you can do instead of pointing, because that's could be just too aggressive for your foot, is I like to call it Barbie foot. So it's like pointing the toe back and flexing the toes back. That might keep it from cramping. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, but it's when they're flat on the floor. It's when they're on the
Oh, when they're flat on the floor.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's not what I mean. When you're laying and you point your feet behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
okay. So you could keep them flexed.
Okay.
You could totally keep them flexed. If it ends right after you come out of it, it's you're not hurting yourself or anything. It's just a little bit of a circulation thing. But yeah, you could totally chaturanga, keep your toes curled.
Okay.
And then go straight into it, and just see if that feels better in your body.
Okay.
That'll probably fix that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Who else? Yeah, Rebecca.
On the side plank pose,
Uh-huh.
so you're on the side, I have a really bad left foot. So I can't roll over on the side of my foot. What would I do?
So you would just go to your knees. So you would just start here, and you'd come here and go up like this, and then come here and go up like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just stay on my knees.
Okay. Thank you.
And it doesn't look as intense, but I promise you're still getting a workout.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anybody else? You guys good? You guys want to do a little test? Show me pyramid pose.
What was it? I didn't hear you.
Pyramid pose with your right foot forward.
I have no idea.
I like the honesty. That's good. Woohoo! Yes. I love it. Nice. A+. Show me mountain pose.
What are you doing? Going on a bike ride. Okay, it's raining.
Yep, you just gotta stand there. You're all doing it naturally. There we go. Nice. What about eagle pose? The eagle balancing one.
That was the mean one.
Yeah, I love it. What about the wide-legged forward fold C? C. So that was interlace your hands behind you when you fold. Love it. Love it, love it. Up dog versus cobra. Ooh. Nice. Beautiful. Look at you, my little yogis. And chair pose. Get low, sing it with me. From the window to the wall. Yeah. Awesome. You guys did so good today. Wait, I want to take your picture. Everybody get your face in front of the camera.
Oh.
It's okay. It's going to be small. It's like on my phone photo. Cheese. I love it. Okay, feel free to ask any questions in the event page if you think of one. Tomorrow we'll be doing the next set of poses. It won't take this long, so we won't have the breathing and stuff like that in our introductions. But we'll go through the next 10 poses. So ideally we're gonna do 10 poses a day, and then do try to review them and like look at the benefits and stuff like that, because it really kind of like cements it into your memory. And then on our last day, we're gonna put it all into a flow together. So, woohoo! Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Whitney.
Oh, wait, we have to
Thank you.
say namaste. Hands to prayer at your heart. And together we say namaste. Yeah.
Namaste.
My mom does this. Thanks, everybody.
I love you.
I love you too. So cute.